we're live with the voice here. Playing the candidates. The computer crashed. Okay, going live. Hey, good evening everybody. I'm Vernon J. Chief Moon and my host tonight is the beautiful Robin Little Bear. Say hi everybody to Robin. We're sorry about yesterday's broadcast. It was only our test broadcast because, let's just make sure our mics are on here. We were just testing to make sure everything was working out yesterday. Yesterday's broadcast was only our test broadcast. Okay, somebody has their feed on here. We have some feedback. We were just testing to make sure everything was working out. So somebody that's watching, just turn down the broadcast because it's picking up in the video. Somebody has their feed on here. We have some feedback over here. So whoever's watching in our broadcast, just turn down the video here. Okay. All right. So, like I said, today's show is all about getting to know some of the candidates running for chief and council and for a chance for them to share their platform safely with you due to COVID-19. So we're just offering this outlet to our candidates to go through their campaign to share with you and why they are running for chief and council. Tonight's guests are Mickey Dayrider, aka Tony Delaney, and we have Tanya Lynn Blackplum and Melina Blood, as well as Rita Calf and Hank Shade. But Tanya will be also joining us shortly. Her computer crashed here, so she'll be joining us within the broadcast in a few. So before we begin, I'll turn it to my co-host if she'd like to say any few words.
Welcome, everybody. We've given some time this evening to hear from our candidates, and we're going to ask them to share their platforms with you. And just to share a little bit about themselves, we'd like to let everybody get a chance to get to know our candidates. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Okay, so to start us off is Mickey Dayrider, aka Tony Delaney. All right, Tony, we'll bring Tony on and turn his mic on and he could take over the show. So go ahead, let's see.
Yeah, I'm on.
Oh, there you are. Go ahead.
I just want to make sure everyone could hear me.
Sound good?
Yeah? So everyone could hear me on the live, on the stream? Yes?
People back home, if you can hear Tony on the stream, give him a thumbs up. Or a hi, Tony, we can hear. He just wants to make sure. Yeah, we have some thumbs up here. Lacey J. Divine says, Tony, we can hear you. You better do good or else. Jokes. No, she didn't say that part, but she could hear you. Okay, go ahead, Tony. You're live.
Okay. Gana, Nitanako Katapi. My name is Mickey Dayrider, aka Tony Delaney. And just to clarify some of the confusion, my father is the late Mickey Dayrider, so I'm a junior. And I was raised by Adam and Elfrida Delaney. And before my grandfather passed away, he said, I raised you, I want you to keep that name, Delaney. And so I've always had that name since that time. It was back in grade 5 when I changed my name to Delaney. So I just wanted to kind of explain that so people know, and it's out of respect to both of my families, my Day Rider and to my Delaney family as well. So I'm the youngest candidate on tonight. And for some reason, I'm starting first. So I feel like Robin and Vernon are feeding me to the wolves right off the back. No, I was kidding. But so I just want to get right into it. My platform. I've been involved in justice for 10 years. I'm the coordinator for the Kainai Peacemaking Program, the most successful program in all of Canada. We receive about 150 court referrals a year. Last year, we successfully introduced eagle feathers into all of the Alberta courts as an option for people to use for their oath. So there's people could still use the Bible or they could affirm, but now they could use an eagle feather. You could go to, there's 133 courts in all of Alberta, and you could request to use the eagle feather. So that's kind of my focus. I still want us to be leaders, the Blood Tribe, in terms of justice, restorative justice, but as well focus on our young people. And so that brings me to the next point is our youth. Back in 1995, I was part of the Kainai Youth Council, and that by being in that youth council, it provided so many opportunities for myself, my peers, and the many great things that being a member of that council. So, and then back in a few years after, about 2004, I was appointed to the Assembly of First Nations. I was the first Blackfoot representative to be appointed to the Assembly. And so at that time, I was able to meet with prime ministers, ministers, premiers, and MLAs, MPs, other chiefs, councillors all throughout the country by being part of the Assembly. And so that was a huge honor. And as well, I want to focus on our elders. Our elders, I want to utilize all of our elders for their knowledge, their experiences, and then to provide more supports and services to our elders. It's proven when our elders and young people are taken care of, that our communities will be a lot healthier. So by doing that, we need to implement programs that are going to support our young people and our elders and to keep them out of the criminal justice system. As well, I want to focus on business, investing. We need to think about our future generations and what are we going to leave for them in the future. So it's very important to focus on that. As well, I still want to continue to support our small businesses, our small business owners. They need support from our tribe, from our leadership, so to continue that. As well, treaty. It's very important that when legislation is being passed by the federal government, that we have individuals that are experienced, that do know how bills are passed through the, most importantly, through the House of Commons. But as well, there's even legislation that is passed through the legislature here in Alberta, and we need to be on top of that through the through our tribe and through Blackfoot Confederacy. We need to make sure that we are united. And so I'm not just every 4 years, then all of a sudden I say I'm going to be involved. Anyone that knows me knows I'm out in the community. I've involved in community events as well, MC. I've been very fortunate to be MC so many events here on the reserve, but as well I've been called to MC other events, not only here in Alberta, but Saskatchewan and throughout the United States. So it's a huge honor to do that. And so I believe we need people in there that understand the different, like UNDRIP and the different things that are being passed through the federal government. And there's key individuals that I've been able to meet with over the years. I've presented in front of judges, Crown prosecutors on the importance of who we are. Our worldview is very important, that we're not less than anyone else, that we're just as important or even better with our own ways. And so by having that pride, we could do a lot of really good things. And so I know the importance of community. I want to represent each and every one of you, your families. And then as well, I have the experience when I was with the AFN, I held 2 portfolios. One was youth and elders, and the other one was residential school. And then there was a lot of great things that came out of that at that time. And then to come back home and to serve my community for 10 years, it's been a huge honor. I was able to prove myself through our elders, through the community, and through the justice system. And one of the things that we're going to do, just before COVID was the courtrooms in the Lethbridge Provincial Court was we were going to change the names to Blackfoot names, people that have been involved in the justice system. We wanted to honor them that way, but because of COVID, we weren't able to do that. So there's still things that we can do, still things that I could advocate for at more of a leadership level. As being the coordinator of the Kadai Peacemaking Program, I've been able to advocate for our people in the justice system, and I understand how the justice system works. And I know that in Canada, the incarceration rate for Indigenous people is amongst the highest out of any group of people. So we need people that are familiar with that and that are able to work with other people, regardless of who's in government, if it's in the province or at the federal level, regardless of political views. We need to be able to work with these individuals and remind the government of their fiduciary responsibility to Ghana and to the Blackfoot Confederacy, because the treaty that was signed was a Blackfoot treaty, and amongst other Indians. So my Facebook, it's public. Get a hold of me on my Facebook. I wish all of the candidates the best of luck in this year's election. Run a positive campaign, because that's who we are as Ghana. We're not people that bring down people. We're supposed to uplift our people and bring up our people's spirits. And that's how we're going to make it through all of this. And I'd like to thank the health workers for all of the awesome work that you've done throughout all of this by keeping us safe. Again.
Thank you, Tony. That was very good, and you were right on time.
Well, you just bolted that quick. Thanks, Tony, for joining us, but I hope you can stay with us. Oh, there you are. You're back. Hey? All right. Yeah. So next up on our agenda, we have Tanya Len Blackplum, and she's going to be coming on talking to us about her platform. So Tanya, there you are. We kind of lost her there for a minute. So she's back with us here. So Tanya, we'll put you in the spotlight. Okay, and take Tony off because he shut off his video there. So, all right, Tanya, you have you're on live.
Hi, okay, everyone. Nistuna Doniko, Brave Woman. My Indian name is Brave Woman, and my English name is Tanya Blackplum, and I'm a proud member of the Fish Eater clan from the Blood Tribe. I am 39 years old. I'm a single mother to 4 amazing kids, and I was also brought up very traditionally. So at this point, my platform has been in human services for the last since 2003. I've been working with child and youth care as a mentor and peer support worker. In 2015, I lost my husband to suicide, to fentanyl. So I decided to pursue my education in addiction counseling and mental health with a double major in addiction counseling and mental health. And I've been doing a lot of advocate work through the human services field, harm reduction field, volunteering wherever I can. In 2017, I kind of implemented a story, and I shared it with the Sweetgrass Youth Alliance, and they brought up a book that was called I Am the Opioid Crisis, Tales from Southern Alberta. And I shared a story in there called I Am a Mother, and there it shared my journey, kind of what I was going through. I've been a strong advocate for addiction counseling and the mental health field since 2015. I work with youth and adults. In 2018, I started working with Family Ties at a harm reduction center called River House. And with that, it consisted of 12 males, all severely homeless and addicted to alcohol. So that got me the experience of how I can help our people in order to heal. With myself, I'm a very holistic person, but I also believe in Western medicine. So I like the two combined. With my platform, I would like to see more advocacy and assistance with our people that are suffering from addiction and mental health, or people that are vulnerable, are homeless, our off-reserve people, foster people, because at this point I've been working with the foster system since 2018, and I am the only foster parent, like among many other that can be eligible. And a lot of these people that are in foster system, they're from the blood tribe. There are people. So my strong advocacy is, how do we connect with our off-reserve members, these members that are need our assistance, and develop programs to assist them, to make them come back to Kainai. Because I believe that going back to our traditional ways of life, that is how we're going to heal our people. Because before colonization, we had our own way of governing, justice system, our healthcare system, our childcare system. We had all of that. We ran it and we knew how. And when colonization came, we kind of wiped that all out. So how do we go back to our roots in order to heal our people? In August of 2020, I started, I was blessed to kind of participate with a culture land-based camp that was built for recovery, and it was for 6 males. And we taught them for 30 days, and we just taught them the medicine and how to live off the land and how to go back to our traditional ways of life. And just in those 4 weeks, these young men, you know, they were very grounded, they were very open, and they started asking questions about what they wanted to do. I would like to see more supports, especially with children with disabilities, because as a parent with children with disabilities, we have to go off reserve. We have to go to Lethbridge, or we have to go to Calgary to assist anything. And at this point, I don't think our children should be learning the Western colonization to help our own people when we have the technology and we have the medicine we need. We just need our teachers and our knowledge keepers to guide us, you know, and this is where we come in and we work together as a team. I'm very team-based person, because I believe we can't move forward unless we work together. And there is no I in team, because that's not how it works. For myself, there's many of my brothers and sisters that are on the streets, that are all over the place, Calgary, Lethbridge, BC, the States. So now how do we help them? How do we feel like they're included into our reserve, but also implement programs for them? And this is where I know there's many other, like we have registered doctors, we have registered psychologists, registered therapists. They went to school for this, so now it's time to bring them back to the reserve in order to help our people, because why have all this education and then we're gonna leave the reserve and help others when we're supposed to come back home and help our people? My platform is figuring out the social determinants of health through an intersectional lens based on holistic healing and our Western ideologies. But how can we put them combined and make them work? I also believe in off-reserve citizens, because I've been off-reserve since 2015, so I know how it feels to want assistance and want to feel included with what's going on. So I want to make off-reserve members more included and try and implement programs or assistance for them that are out there. I am very grateful, like from where I am today, I've been brought up very traditionally in the teachings that I have. I'm very grateful for my parents, my grandparents, and many mentors that I had along the way to help me along my path. I'm very thankful, and I want to thank Vernon and the team for putting this up and inviting me, because I really appreciate it. Like, this is exciting, this is awesome, and it's good to know everybody. And I just like to send many blessings to everybody out there and say, be safe, Kainai. Take care of one another, because that's who we are as Nitsitibes. That's who we are. We're humble people, and it's time we take care of each other and bring our relatives and community members back home. Thank you.
Good job, Tanya.
Tanya, thank you.
Really appreciate you for coming on our show. Like I said, the object of this show is to, offer that safe gateway for everyone to share their platform, especially through COVID-19. So next up we have Melina Blood. Melina Blood will come on to share her campaign, her platform. So let's turn the spotlight on Melina here. So just give us a second, Melina. We'll unmute you. and give you the spotlight. Okay, you're live, Melina.
Okay. Okay, ni tsukuaks. Nistuanagok mianistoch buskiaki. Ninna anista igeskini. I nixista anista natuaki. Nukdu akat bukats. Good evening, everybody. My name is Melina Lohorn Blood. My parents are Dale and the late Sylvia Lohorn. And I think it's really important that, you know, people know who you're from and where you're from. I'm from the Many Children's Clan. My partner, my fiance is Dwayne Across the Mountain Jr. And we have 5 children together: Cobe, Kiara, Kennedy, Shanoa, Sage, and as well as 1 granddaughter, Ava Martina. I was raised in a very traditional household where respect and morals were instilled in me at a very young age. And I continue to live by these teachings and guidance. I have, I'm the youngest of 8 siblings, and unfortunately, I'm not fluent in Blackfoot, but I can understand a lot, and as you can tell, I've tried my best to incorporate some of our language into my introduction, because it is important. Language is important. Our culture is important. I'm currently employed with Kainai Board of Education, and as a Head Start instructor. And right when I graduated in 1994, I've worked within the early childhood education field. Right when I graduated, I worked in the Laverne School. It was called Laverne School back then, and I've also worked off reserve in the Native Head Start in Lethbridge. So I've had probably 25 years in the human services field, and I've worked with a lot of families. I've done different positions in the field. I've been a Blackfoot instructor, and it was all basic, and I know the basic. I've been a parent liaison and more recently an instructor for the past 8 years. So I've been working with families, and when I was a parent liaison, I've worked directly with the families, and I've seen firsthand what the issues that arise in the communities. And so my platform is reality, is right here, is what happens in our communities here. We see a lot of vulnerable people. The children in the community, where's a safe place for them to play? Going back to the vulnerable, I'd love to, you see the shelter, and I don't see programs going on. I'd love to put programs in there to help our vulnerable. I've thought a lot about the children, because I'm all about children. I'm all about helping our children. And I see that in the community, like I said, there's no safe place for them to play. Do our children eat a warm meal every night? Do they have somewhere warm to sit? You know, I've been a parent too, and I've seen struggles, and I've struggled myself. And I really feel that our children, you know, they are our future. Everyone says our children are our future. And I really believe we need to hold them up to that standard. I think having a center in each community where children can come, enjoy a hot meal, you know, Doesn't matter what age. Come and enjoy a hot meal somewhere warm. Another thing I'd like to see in the community is a fully funded soup kitchen for families and the homeless. I really feel that we need to help our vulnerable. There's reasons why they are like that. And it all stems back to trauma and what they've been through. And holding those kind of programs in the homeless shelter, and even if we can get another shelter in Standoff, holding those kind of programs for the vulnerable to help them get back on their feet, because I know that's what they want. That's all they really want, is to try and get back on their feet. We just need to be there and give them a push. Another platform of mine is elders. To get an elder center, and I know we have an elder center, but what's happening in that center? Is it open? Is it open? We see elders that go hang out at the building because they just want to visit. Maybe they're lonely at home. No one's at home to talk to them. And it would be really nice if we had a center open and somebody there every day, put the coffee on for them. That would be really good to have something in our communities. There's so much I really want to share. The education and the funding for education, lobby for additional funding. Our students try really hard, and I think we need to help them out in that way. Inclusion of Blood Tribe members who live off reserve. Again, that's another big topic. I've lived off the reserve for many years, and you know, it is hard, and I'd like to help those people. Inclusion of Blood Tribe members who are disabled, you know, have funding and programs for them. My sole duty is reality right here in Kainai, helping out people. I'm a leader, I'm a go-getter, I love helping out people. I really enjoy listening to all the platforms, hearing all the great ideas, and I agree, we need to work as a team. So good luck to all candidates. Thank you.
Thank you, Melina. Good. Right on time.
Thank you, Melina. That was excellent. I couldn't help by looking at your video there, just staring at your freshly made coffee. Yum. Okay, so next on deck we have Rita Caff. Rita Caff will be joining us here. So Rita, we'll put the spotlight on you, and then you could take over here. So give us a minute. Okay, Rita, I unmuted you, so unmute your mic on your end.
Yo.
Rita.
Okay.
You need to unmute your video.
Oh.
There you go. Welcome. The stage is yours, Rita.
She's muted.
Oh,
Wait.
Rita, you have to unmute yourself. You were working and then you muted yourself again. So unmute your mic.
Unmute?
Yeah, there you
You're
go.
good?
You're good.
Okay. Good. Okay, start again. Okay, gusto ako ka apakaki. My English name is Rita. I'm married to Robert Caff, and we've been married for 50 years. This year we were supposed to celebrate, but due to COVID, we couldn't. We have 7 beautiful children. I have 21 grandchildren and 14 great-grandchildren, so I'm very blessed. I have a degree. I convocated in 2000. My major was sociology. I also have my social work diploma through Mount Royal College. I've been employed with Blood Tribe Social Development for 20 years. And I guess my greatest achievement too is I've been drug and alcohol free for 40 plus years. I wanted to throw something in. This is just throw it out before I go into my platform. The reason I'm running is because I guess I'm something else. Jokes, no. Okay. My platform. Okay. I've been reading up on a lot of the issues and concerns on social media and also from community for these past few years. The Blood Reserve has a lot of excellent programs, and I believe maybe it's communication, I don't know, but there are some glitches there. So I think for me, I would talk to, well, as I elected, if I'm elected, what I would do is I would do assessments, I would evaluate programs, and also do a policy review for all within the department. As I mentioned before, there are excellent programs, but there needs to be improvements. Okay, there's a lot of issues regarding homelessness, a lot of issues regarding the opiate crisis. There's the alcohol issues, the off-reserve issues. Okay, one thing that in my research, I think in July 15th, 2020, there was a press release done by Premier Kenney. And we were funded, or they were going to fund Blood Tribe $5 million to open up a 75-bed for the opiate crisis. So these are the things that I would like to look, find out, okay, what is happening? Did the funding come in place? So basically it is really looking at and assessing and evaluating all the programs. Okay, keeping in mind too, when you're, if you're on chief and council, you're not an administrator. Okay, there are directors and they have support staff. They are the ones that run these programs. And chief and council are policy makers. Also, it's negotiating with the federal government, provincial government, and even the municipalities. So these are all the things that I would like to see. And I think my when I got nominated, one of the things that I said is, I believe I can make a difference. And I'll read off what I have. Okay, is I'm committed, task orientated, I'm a team player. Also, I'm very confident. I have a lot of experience. I have loyalty, integrity. I'm very opinionated, meaning is that I'm not a follower. Is if I see something that is not right or that's going to create issues, is I would voice that. Because I strongly believe is you don't just sign off documents, you have to get such stuff. There are a lot of things there that you have to really watch. If you question stuff that are going to go through, especially at the chief and council level, you have to get to Scott. See. Also, you have to look at the things that you don't want to be just a follower. You have to look at stuff. You have to look at all the issues at hand. Okay, the other thing is I believe in transparency. It's an open book approach, and also communication, because communication is very important. As I mentioned before, there are a lot of good programs. I can name them off, but maybe the issue is communication, or people, maybe they're not reading stuff, or maybe because I know there's been community meetings, so The other one is I believe in honesty. You have to be truthful. I believe in accountability. You have to be responsible and accountable to the people you serve, especially on the Blood Tribe. And that also includes enforcement of policies. So these are all some of the issues that I've looked at. And I think in my previous campaign, and I think it's in I talked about change. Okay, change to me is like, even I've looked at pamphlets and they've all talked about change, but I'll tell you what I think about change. This is the opinion I think of change. Okay, change, is it about change is about you. Okay, me as an individual, I'm only one person. I am only one vote. So in order for me is I have to convince the community that I am capable of doing the job. So it's all the people that are voting. Okay, and in that, having said that, is the change that's going to happen, it has to come from the community. Okay, I also talked about, and I know some didn't like it, is popularity vote. Okay, a lot of times, you know your own family. You guys, every community Blood Tribe member knows their own family. Okay, if that person, just because you're a relative or a friend, do you think that person's going to do the job? You want changes? Then let's vote for change. These are all the things that I would like to see happen. And if you think I can do the job, then vote for me on the 19th or on the 26th. Again.
Awesome. Thanks, Rita.
Thank you, Rita. So on deck, we'll just take the spotlight off you there. Okay. Okay, so on deck we have Hank Shade. Also, on your ballot, his name will be under Henry Shade, so it's AKA Hank. So we'll pull Hank on the screen here. Okay, and then we'll take you off there, Rita. There we go. So, Henry, we'll put you live there. Okay, can you hear us, Hank? Okay, just 1 second, guys. Okay, Hank, can you hear us? Okay, I think you're... Hank, are you with us here? Okay.
Unmute, Hank. Unmute your phone. There you go. Oh, no, it's still muted.
Okay, 1 second here. There you go.
I was trying to use my phone.
Yeah, turn down the video here so we don't get feedback. Hank, did you need a minute to call in the number again? Just hang up with your phone.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. But turn down your video on your phone there. Turn down the video to the show. But you sound good on my end, so.
Can't hear.
Yeah. Okay, so hang up your phone and call the number again, and we'll put you through because somehow you're muted on your end. Okay, bear with us, guys. You're watching live television.
How am I coming through now?
Perfect.
Good. Yeah.
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID.
Okay, guys, he's
followed
just
by
joining
pound.
us through Zoom there. He's going to call in case his feed cuts out. That's the, I guess, the disadvantage about Wi-Fi on the internet. Some valleys you have excellent connection and some valleys you don't. So with Hank, we're just having him call in, so in case his feed drops off, you can still hear his voice, all right? So you won't hear the Okay, so just give him a minute. He's calling in, so just bear with us here. So, Robin, while we get his issue fixed, did you want to just maybe talk about your campaign for a minute or two till we get Hank all sorted out here?
Sure.
Okay.
Talk about, well, I guess I really didn't want to interrupt our candidates tonight, but certainly I'd love to share some things about my platform if we've got a couple of minutes here while we're getting Hank set up. I guess the three key things at a high level that are making part of my platform are our fiscal arrangements. As you heard some of the speakers tonight, negotiations and programs, all those kinds of things are very important to us, and certainly it takes good funding arrangements to put those kinds of things in place. So we know we need to make sure our funding agreements work for us, that they're good funding agreements.
Yes,
so that's
just stand by, Hank.
I'd like to focus on in this next term. I think Hank is ready to go, so we're gonna get him set up ready to start soon.
Go ahead, Hank,
Okay.
you're live.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to thank Vernon for putting this together. I'd like to thank all the other candidates for running for council. Okay, ito na sa nistuan na ko agoki ka. Mamyo ikno tapi. I'm Henry Shade. You may know me as Hank Shade. That's my nickname, but Henry Shade will be on the ballot. And this evening, I'm asking for your vote on November 19th or 26th. And what I want to tell you tonight is why I should be one of your 12 votes. You know, in this campaign, I'm hearing a lot of great ideas, and I have some ideas too, but, you know, unfortunately, you can't implement an idea. You can only implement a plan. And I believe that is my strength. I have the education, skills, and experience to take an idea from inception to a feasibility. And in a feasibility, basically, where is the money coming from? Is the idea or program sustainable? If it proves feasible, then a comprehensive plan, comprehensive business plan, and then on to implementation. Something I've really always known and done in all my work experience is you can't do things on your own. You need a team, and what you're doing, everybody is electing a team, 12 council. So I believe a vote for me is a vote for a team player that can make ideas a reality. And I can work with anyone. I've got proven leadership skills, proven organizational management experience, and financial management experience. I was on council 4 years and 10 years at Community Futures Treaty 7. CFT7 is a $12 million organization. So I manage $12 million. The tribe is a $160 million, maybe even more, plus $1 million organization. There are almost 20 departments and nearly 20 entities. That can be intimidating if you don't have the experience. So think about it. Your vote will be putting someone or 13 people at the head of a $160 million organization. Think about it. Our money comes from INAC through funding agreements. I've worked for INAC or Indian Affairs for 3 years. I know how they operate. INAC designs our programs and determines funding levels. As the Economic Development Director and as an employee of INAC, I've been involved in developing programs. It starts with a program evaluation. You do the program development, First Nation engagement, and then program modernization. Now, outside the department, I also understand how the feds work. I understand the role of Treasury Board, where funding comes from. They cut the check. I've been involved with memorandums to cabinet, which is basically a proposal for a program. So I know my way around the federal government and the funding cycle. Just end off with some strategic priorities. What I'd like to work on in the coming term, among other things, is a mechanism, some kind of a mechanism. Let's work in the youth and the elders to play an advisory role to chief and council. I'd like to figure that out and have them play a meaningful advisory role. We are at a critical point in terms of saving our language. We need to research and implement an effective methodology to teach Blackfoot, conversational Blackfoot, not just words. We need to create an environment for business investment and business development. As you know, business investment and business development create jobs. We need to keep working in the area of policy development. Policy is the only way to treat all blood Indians equally. That's the trick. Policy, and you treat all blood Indians equally. I'd like to leave you with a closing thought, and that's from my economics class. Society has unlimited needs. Well, the blood tribe has unlimited needs. Government have very limited resources. The challenge becomes prioritizing, program efficiencies. So it's really trying to satisfy a lot of needs with limited dollars. So on November 26th, November 19th, vote Henry Shade. I can make things happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Hank. That was very good. On time.
Thank you.
So,
yeah, actually, before your time, that was very good.
So what's going to happen now is we have just a few questions that we're going to ask some of the candidates, and Robin will veer those questions to our candidates. Again, we have Rita Calf joining us, as well as Melina Blood, Tanya Lynn Blackplum, Rita, yeah, I already said Rita, Hank, but on your ballot would be Henry Shade, then Mickey Dayrider, aka Tony Delaney. Go ahead, Robin.
Okay, so I'm gonna just ask the candidates a question. One of the things that popped out of their platform, and just get them to expand on it. So Tony, you're first up, and you've got 2 minutes. You talked about justice and youth. And so I wanted to ask you, how would you incorporate youth into the Blood Tribe's governance structure?
Yeah, I just had to take off the put back on the camera. So one of the things that we did was we created a Blackfoot reintegration model, and what it does is it teaches our people the importance of our societies, the tribe, the clans, and just different things like that, reintroducing them, the significance of a pipe, again, societies. What we found by working with our elders is about 50 years ago, if you ask 50 young Blood Tribe members, what's the meaning of smudging? You're going to get one answer. Today, if you ask the same question, we're going to get 50 different answers. And the reason is because those kind of things are not being taught at home. And one of the things that we started doing is we started smudging at the courthouses. And I thought it was pretty cool. And so once we started doing that, I realized two things. We're giving people an opportunity that don't normally pray, an opportunity to pray. And if they choose to, an opportunity to smudge. And so by doing this, we've provided opportunities for our tribal members, our non-tribal. I wanted to add to that over the years, by working in the justice system, I've been able to advocate for our off-reserve members as well, surrounding the Blood Tribe in Calgary and different areas with the work that I've been able to do to try bring more services and that their voices are heard, because I know our non-tribal members need to be heard as well. Is that it? Am I out of time? Oh, so yeah, so that's one of the things I want to do. It's very important. An elder once shared with me, when someone knows who they are, where they come from, their language, their songs, their legends, they'll be so full of themselves that they wouldn't want to hurt themselves or anyone else with drugs, alcohol, or violence. So I feel that we need to be like with Ganetsin to really use that and to if it's a campaign or whatever it is, but a different strategy than what is happening now. And so to really to work with all of our people. And one of the things that is that I wanted to see is youth chief and council happen, because with those kind of things, it's going to create many more opportunities for our young people to be involved and to learn different things, like with the justice system. I know with myself, it created many great opportunities to help me where I am today. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Okay, next up is Tanya. Tanya, you talked about knowledge keepers, and one of the things that really stuck in my head was you said there's no I in team, and I really like that. My question is, if you are a successful candidate in this election, how do you plan to work as a team with the rest of council and our newly elected chief?
Thank you for the question. I would work with communication, because I think communication is the best, and that's the only way we can actually work towards a better future, is actually communicating and figure out what's going on. Because if we don't work as a team and one person's doing another thing and we don't know what's happening, then that's where conflict arises. And when conflict arises, I think it's best just to address it, see what's happening and how we can move forward. Like, I'm a very, how do you say it, kind person, very friendly person. So I believe in communication is the best way we can actually move forward and in a healthy way, instead of, negative communication, because I don't think negative communication, it doesn't really get us anywhere. We have to think positive. We have to think what is the best way for our people to move forward. And it's not about us mostly, it's about everyone. Like, how are we all going to move forward together, and how are we going to get there? So it's just kind of implementing those ideas with the team and bouncing off each other, encouraging each other, supporting each other, especially when there's conflict. Okay, what's happening? What's going on? How can we fix it? Like, just moving forward for myself, and then figuring out ways, like even team, team building skills, we can do those. You know, there's different strategies that you can do as a team in order to strengthen yourself and know where your weaknesses are, where your strengths are, and then, okay, where do we work from there? For myself, like, I've been, you know, I know how it is, like, to be pushed down and not be heard. So I want everyone to be heard. I want everyone to feel like they're included and know, hey, we're here to work for you, and how do we get it done? So I hope that answers the question. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Tanya. Okay, next on our list is Melina. Melina, you talked about children. You talked about programs for the vulnerable. You talked about elders, education, and inclusion of off-reserve and disabled. And I was very interested in the education piece. You talked about lobbying for more funding. What kinds of things, can you talk about what kinds of things we can lobby for to improve our education?
What kinds of things would be stuff like for programs for, did you say for education?
What kind of would you
overall?
Yeah, overall for education.
I would lobby for programs for, I'm sorry, I don't understand your question. Education, or is it for like all the vulnerable, the children, or is it just education?
You talked about education and lobbying for more funding for education.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So when I talked about lobbying for additional funding for the post-secondary students that live off reserve, there's we know that they don't get enough money for their basic living allowances. They have children. So I really like to push for the students that go to school and another thing was developing adequate student housing for our students. I know there's a lot of students that live off reserve, and it's hard for them financially, especially when they live off reserve, and even on reserve too. So I'd like to lobby for funding for them. I'm sorry, can I get another question again too, please? I wasn't too...
You want a new question?
Yeah, I want another question as well. Sorry.
Okay. Melina, are you done that one? We can come back to you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm done on the education one.
Okay. Thank you, Melina. All right. Next up on our list is Rita. Rita, you talked about the 75-bed facility. You talked about assessing and evaluating programs, policy, negotiating, transparency and communications. And that's the one that interests me, Rita. So if you are a successful candidate in this election, how do you see Chief and Council becoming more transparent in the new term?
Yeah, Rita, if you can hear us, you're live.
So one is good.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Transparency is what it to me is okay. Well, one is with the community. Okay, people are always saying, "Well, we don't know what's happening," so it's meeting with them, with the community, either having monthly or some type like a townhouse type meeting. And I think each council should go to their respective, let's say, if I'm in Moses Lake area, is going there and talking to the people, and telling them and telling them where I went, why I went. So this way, people are aware of what is happening at the council level. Because a lot of times, like what I said is, like not everyone is on social media. So a lot of times what you need to do is go there. Okay. Also in transparency is you have to have a open book approach. I need when audit is done. And I know that community don't really go there. So again, it's talking about, like instead of like putting it back to the community. Okay, community, these are the concerns you guys have. Okay, we're there. We want to provide the information you guys want. We want to be able to communicate with you. So that's in the financial aspect. Okay, so that's in the transparency. What's the other question?
That's it. Transparency and communication. That was the question.
Oh, okay. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rita.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is Hank. Hank, you talked about implementing a plan, taking ideas to inception, implementing them. You talked about, how INAC operates, and that's an interesting piece. If successfully re-elected, how do you see council working and lobbying with Indigenous Services Canada, which used to be INAC?
Thank you for the question. If you're going to work with INAC, you've really got to understand their funding cycle.
Yes.
Sometimes a lot of First Nations are caught up late, and therefore they're reacting to the programs that are coming out. The federal government has priorities. Often, and those priorities are to get reelected. That's their priority. And we're a minority of voters. So a lot of times one of their strategic priorities, for example, is reducing the deficit. That's never good for us. That means they're going to cut programs. That's never good for us. So they have these strategic priorities to get reelected. But there is an opening, I believe, if you get in the game in the cycle at an early stage. They start out with an evaluation of the program. I've been in on those. And I think we should be able to get in at that early stage. That's how it all starts. They have the evaluations branch, and I was involved in one. And what I suggested to them is, INAC, these are your programs. And you're telling me, and they designed these programs, and you're telling the Indians, gee, things aren't working. You guys aren't complying. You Indians aren't, your lives aren't getting better. Well, that's because they designed the programs. So that's what I mean about getting in early. They evaluate the program, get in on that. And that's where I pointed out to them, these are your programs. if they're not working, that's your fault. If we design them, can we design them? And I've had success with the provincial government when I was with Community Futures Treaty 7. And they agreed with us. And they said, okay, yes, you're right. It was a team I was on. The government arbitrarily develops programs without much of our input. I had success and they turned over a program. You know, in the end, we designed a program that is better than some guy sitting in Ottawa who doesn't even know an Indian designing programs for us. And that goes on into the tribe too. So as council, we really know the needs, for example, in Moses Lake. Wouldn't Moses Lake, for example, any community, I'm just using Moses Lake, wouldn't they know best what programming would work for them?
Yes.
Would they be able to solve their problems better than somebody who doesn't live in that community, which may be a lot of council? So that's my response. I know I could spend a bit more time on it, but really getting in early at the evaluation stage so you're not reacting to how they design the program, letting them know that we'll be better at designing the program. Their programming has been a disaster for 160 years in the indexes of quality life indexes. Indians' lives are getting worse, and it's because Ottawa designs the programs. So I got a little excited because I think that's our job. We've really got to take control of our destiny away from the hands of Indian Affairs. Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Hank. That was very good. Okay, I'd like to go back to Melina. Melina, I have another question for you.
Okay.
One of the things you talked about was children are our future, and they definitely are our gifts from the Creator. So my question is to you, if you are a successful candidate in this coming election, how much more would you, or how do you see yourself in council incorporating children into the governance structure? Or how would you, what kinds of areas would you work on to emphasize children being our future? How would you implement that idea?
Okay, so I've worked in the early education field for roughly 25 years, like I had mentioned, and I believe that children are our future because they're the ones who are going to lead us in the future. And I believe that we need to put a lot of emphasis, a lot of care, a lot of love into these children. I've worked with 3-year-olds here on the reserve, and in Lethbridge too. I've worked with 3-year-olds, and we need to make these children feel like they're somebody. They can grow up to be anything they want to be. And so I really feel that it's important to put a lot of programs for these children, whether it be oralcy, especially including our Blackfoot language in these children as well. I would love to have I guess I would call it an early childhood education developmental center for all these children, and where they can get all the nurturing in this center, along with the parents. Bring the parents in because a lot of our children succeed if they have parent involvement in their life. And so that's where it was really important that we had parents come into the center and do things with the children, bond with the children. I loved having activities or events where I would have a lot of parental involvement, and the children just flourish when their parents are around. And so I'd really, really like to put a center together for our little ones, and give them a lot of nurturing, and they can build on their cognitive and social skills. But yeah, I would really like to do more for our children of the Blood Reserve.
Thank you. Thank you. And Vernon, that concludes our questions for this evening.
Excellent, guys. I'm not sure my video was loading here because I made all of you guys a spotlight here. So just give me a second here to put me and Robin back on here. There you go. Due to COVID, we don't have a full studio. I'm basically producer, cameraman, title man, live guy, streaming guy, all in one shot here. So we're trying to keep it all together here. So again, I want to thank our political candidates. We had Mickey Dayrider, Tanya Len Blackplum, Lena Blood, Rita Calf, and Hank Shade. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Like I said, the purpose of Blood Tribe Live is to get to know some of our candidates out there campaigning, and a chance for them to share their platform. But like we said, due to COVID-19, we're trying to do everything safe for everyone, basically to protect our elders, immune compromised, basically our community. So in a leadership role, I believe, we have to help one another, and that's what we are doing today, bringing on candidates to talk with you on Blood Tribe Elections Live. So we thank you so much, and I'd like to thank my co-host Robin for keeping track of the notes and from our candidates, so we can ask them some questions to help highlight their platforms. So we thank you everybody for joining us on Blood Tribe Elections Live. We'll be trying to do this every night. If we can't, we will do it the next day. So if you're definitely interested in being our show, feel free to inbox me and we'll do our best to get you on our show here. So everybody, thank you so much. And that's our first episode of Blood Tribe Elections Live. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Be safe everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.